Superman Unchained number 4, written by Scott Snyder, art by Jim Lee and Dustin Nguyen on the backup slash epilogue. And last issue we had Superman and Wraith jumping into Tokyo to fight against some robots, and then Wraith said, I'm gonna have to kill you one day, Superman. So that's a thing. And then Lex Luthor has seemingly kidnapped Jimmy Olsen. So we open up somewhere in Metropolis, and as we find out, Lex is talking to Jimmy. And he's basically saying, hey, Jimmy, we all know how Batman's going to die. It's going to be against the Joker. Wonder Woman, she's going to die because of some magic hoo-ha or whatever. Superman, how do you think he's going to die? And Jimmy's like, what in the hell's going on, Lex? And he's got all these origami dolls of all of the people made. And he's just like, yeah, no, come on, Jimmy, tell me what you think. And then he lowers down this machine onto Jimmy's hand that does something. And he's like, nah, seriously, come on, Jimmy, what do you think? So then we go back to the fight in Tokyo, and it's a whole bunch of robot drone things that are just spouting off Russian. And Superman's like, okay, they've got some plasma shields or something. They're responding to my heat vision. I can't get through to them. I can't destroy them. So we just need to lead them out of the city. And they start flying out over the bay. And Wraith is like, okay, yeah, but they're locked onto you, not me, because I've got this weird disguise cloaking thing going on. And as they're leaving, Superman's like, hey, just a few minutes ago you said that you were going to kill me. What's all that about? And he's like, isn't it obvious? And he's like, no. And Wraith is like, well, I'll tell you as soon as we're not in danger. So he then points out that Superman has been shot in the shoulder and he's actually bleeding. And Wraith is like, what I've been trying to tell you is that these drones, they emit tiny little bits of red sun radiation, red solar radiation, so you're made vulnerable right before the bullet hits. So these things were designed specifically to kill you. And then they start opening fire. Wraith jumps in the way of the bullets, saying how he's tougher, and so he's able to take the hit, but it still looks like both him and Superman are caught in a massive explosion. So Lex continues talking, saying, now, I bet you think that I'm the one who's going to kill Superman, but actually, I doubt it's the case. I thought maybe, it could have been me, but it's not going to be. And Jimmy's freaking out. He's like, why is this machine on my hand, Lex? What's going on here? And then Lex goes into the history of origami and why it's so important in a way that only Scott Snyder can. So then we cut back over to Lois' story. And Lois, if you remember, was saved from a plane by a guy with a crystal. And this guy with the crystal shows up as Lois is dragging the pilots' bodies, seemingly still alive, onto the shore. And he's just like, Lois, I need you to take this crystal. It's super important that you have it. And she's like, what? Who are you? Are you part of Ascension? And he's just like, kinda, sorta, I was, but not anymore. Take the crystal, please. And he's just like, no, what is the crystal what gave you the power to save the plane? He's like, oh my God, Lois. Stop asking so many goddamn questions and just take the crystal. Millions could die. Superman knows what's up with this crystal. At least he think he will. But this is the key to everything. And she's like, okay, well, if Superman is one that needs this, why are you giving it to me? And he's just like, Superman's going to die soon. That's why. So we go back to Tokyo. Superman's still bleeding a lot because of his bullet wounds. And then the leader of Ascension pops up over the TV and says, yes, Superman. I am going to kill you here in Japan because that's where it began all those years ago. Atomic bomb and whatnot. So, good luck with that. And then Superman burns the screen that he's on. And Wraith is like, hey, okay, you got a plan, Superman? We should probably leave. And he's like, no, there are still people here. We have to save them. And Superman points out an armored truck that has lead lining inside of it. So he rips off one of the doors, and Wraith is like, dude, stay behind me. I can take it. And he's like, no. I got this. We're going to use the steel lining. It's lead lined. It's all good. And so he takes the door, keeps it in front of him, and just plows through the drone, which manages to finally take them out. And they start stumbling. Wraith pushes them out into the bay, and seemingly the day is saved, but then more drones show up and start firing at them. And so Wraith then says, okay, I've got an idea. I'm going to use a sonic blast, and then what you need to do is fire off your heat vision, but you can't make it a continuous beam because then they'll respond to that. So you need to blink super fast and make it like machine gun fire. Got it? And Superman's like, okay. So he uses a sonic yell, and then Superman fires off his heat vision. It manages to take down the drones, and Superman's like, hey, how did you do that sonic blast? And he's like, oh, you just like let it build up in my vocal cords. You could do it too. Seriously, Superman, you are capable of so much. I wish that I had the time to show you. And he's like, you mean before you kill me? And he's like, yeah, about that. I guess I should explain. You are dangerous. Like, I think you're cool, but you are dangerous to the systems of power that are currently in place. And one day you're going to upset the wrong people and I'm going to be sent to kill you. Like, that's what I meant when I said I'm going to have to kill you soon. And he's just like, all right, but you don't have to. You're your own person. You don't have to, like, kill me. And then all of a sudden Superman's, I guess, phone goes off. And it's Perry White, and he's just like, hey, Clark, I got you. Jimmy Olsen has gone off the map, and Lois Lane's plane has gone down. So everything's going to hell. So then we see Lois again. She's walking with the guy who's got this shard, and he seems to be okay. He's like physically fine. And they see this ambulance approaching, and then she's like, oh, great, an ambulance. I'll flag it down. And as they stand in the way, apparently there's no driver on this. And therefore the ambulance hits the guy with the shard. He's now knocked down the hill, bleeding profusely. He's like, all right, Lois, I really need you to take this shard now, because I'm going to be dead soon. And she's just like, wait, what do you mean? And he's just like, oh my God, so many questions. Look, Ascension doesn't know that I have this shard. They can't know that you have it either. The information on it is super dangerous in their hands. So please just take the shard. And she's just like, okay, fine, I'll go get help. By the way, where's Ascension? And he's just like, they're right behind you. So Lois turns around and she's surrounded by Ascension goons who knock her out and take her to their base. Finally, we get the last little Lex segment. Lex is still, quote unquote, torturing Jimmy. And he's just like, so, I bet you're wondering, who's the one who's going to kill Superman? If not me, if not Metallo or Brainiac, who will it be? And the answer is Jimmy. And he opens up the little paper doll of Jimmy, and inside is a robot. And he's like, it's you, Jimmy. You will be the one who will kill Superman. So then we get the epilogue. Lois wakes up. She thinks she sees Superman in front of her. Turns out it's just Ascension using like the weird face-changing tech that they got going on. And he's just like, hey, it's us, Ascension. Lois, we consider you part of our family. And she's like, what? Why? And it's like, oh, because General Sam Lane is the one who created us. So, yeah. It's fine. I just feel like I don't know what's going on yet. I feel like there's clearly Ascension is going to be like, quote unquote, the big bad to some extent. I'm sure Wraith is going to have his own things as well, but like, I just don't feel like how many issues is this? I'm not even sure, but I feel like we don't still have a clear through line as to what we're actually even doing yet at this point. It's 9 issues. We're in issue 4. We're almost halfway done, and I still don't feel like we've got a Crystal thing, we've got Ascension, we got Wraith, we got General Lane. I get setting up a mystery, but I feel like I don't even know what parts to latch onto yet. And then Lex is doing whatever the hell Lex is doing. So overall, it's an okay issue, but I just kind of want them to get to the point already is my biggest problem. So I'm going to say 7. It's okay. It's not great. It's just another issue of this series where we see Superman fighting against giant robots because, yeah, what else is new?